Big shout to the Ghosts and the Ghost Sets. In this episode, we sit down with Jason Momoa. Yes, Aquaman meets Skeletor. We talk motorcycle culture, Harley Davidson, Redrum MC, Hell's Angels MC. We talk about the Italy video where he was out there with the Hell's Angels. We break it all down on this episode of Demons Row TV. And oh yeah, we ghosting, baby. Big shout to the Ghosts and the Ghost Sets. Welcome to Demons Row TV, the holy grail of MC culture, where we cover everything motorcycle and motorcycle club involved. I'm Sose The Ghost. I'm your host for the evening, and today we sit down with Jason Momoa. Aquaman is on Demons Row. Big shout to Cliff, the national president of the Redrum MC, for making this go down. I appreciate Jason for taking his time out of shooting Fast and the Furious 10 to sit down with Demons Row, and we're gonna get into it. But the first thing I want you to do, like we always do on this channel, is to hit me with that pound ghost stand. And that lets me know you're alive and well, sitting on twos, doing what you do, or just part of the Demons Row community. One of my ghosts. Let's get into it. So, how long have you been riding for, and what's your history of riding?
Oh man, one of my dear friends of the family, friends of my mom's when I was young, I got on a bike when I was little, and that kind of like just set the whole tone. And I grew up in Iowa. I spent my summers with my father. I was born in Hawaii, but I was raised in Iowa. And so, he's just a lot of garages and, buddies building cars. But my friend first got this dirt bike, and that was like my first experience, like wrecking something. and and I wrecked his new bike, and I had to pay for that shit. And I was hooked. I was hooked on the sound. I was hooked on just the fact that I could just make wind with just twisting that throttle. And so I just loved old things. My mom raised me with old cars and old antiques and things like that. And when I saw my first knucklehead, it's really cool. My mom's work, this guy collected all these different artwork, and he had a very early knucklehead. It might've been a 36 knucklehead. And I remember seeing it when I was a little kid, and I was like, it was a sculpture. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And I don't know, it's just one of those things you see when you're growing up, like your first experience, you see something, you hear it, and it just, your head whips around. You're like, what is that sound? As a wild animal. And then you just get hooked. And then when you finally learn how to ride, that was my first thing I bought. This is crazy. When I got my first job as an actor, I ended up making like $3,000 an episode, which when I was 19 it was the fucking amazing, because I was folding t-shirts every day for like $60. So I was just trying to be an extra. I was like $100 a day to be an extra in Hawaii. I was 19 years old. I just wanted to meet women, and then I ended up getting the lead role, and I got $3,000 an episode. And after all the taxes and stuff, it was still like I was living with my dad at his place. But I just saved. I borrowed his car, and I saved my money. And my first thing I ever bought was a 56 Panhead. So I saved my money on my first job, and I was just living on my dad's floor, and I bought my first bike, and that was
what was that? Baywatch? That was Baywatch?
Hey, man, why you say the B word, man? Yeah, I said my first job, motherfucker.
Shit.
I said my first job. We don't need to get the details.
I seem to remember you all
these details, man.
Buttered up, bro. Buttered up.
We don't say the B word no more. You know what I mean? So fucking relax, Cliff. So this really awesome this show I was on, I got it, and I was like riding around Hawaii, 19 years old on a 56 Panhead, man, and that's the same bike. I named it after my grandmother, who just passed away like last year. Her name is Mabel. Yeah, man, thank you. she's a wonderful woman. Mabel, I named her after, and that's what I rode in the movie Road to Paloma that I made. And I was on a bike, so it's the same bike, and I still have her. She's
so you rode your own bike in the movie?
Oh yeah, man, I ride my boat. I mean, even the Fast 10 right now, I ride my own bike. We doing it. Unless it's a crazy stunt where if I wreck, it's gonna wreck the whole film. And like generally speaking, like we do our own stunts, unless it's I do have a great stunt team, but like when it comes down to bikes, I'm like, I want to do it. But if I got to jump shit and ride upstairs and do all kinds of crazy shit like what we're doing Fast right now, we've met an amazing cat that he's been doing some of that stuff. But generally, I'm like, yeah, I love riding, man. And we shoot all our commercials. So my whole team, like Pride of Gypsies and On the Road, we shoot all those Harley commercials, and that's us hanging off the cars and shooting it ourselves. And
so, how did you get set up with Cliff and Redrum?
Well, I've been following them and been hearing about them maybe about like 4 years ago, but I got to meet Cliff maybe a little over 2 years ago, and we started chatting. And the cool thing is like, I've done so many I played so many indigenous roles and met with, elders and tribal members, and, went to meet with the Ramapos, went to meet with the Mojave, and even, this movie that just came out, the Chimoewe, like we just made a movie, The Last Manhunt. It's just an honor because I'm an indigenous man, and being able to make these movies. And I think after Aquaman hit, finally having like a brown skin superhero, I never expected kids to be coming up and be like, wow, like, holy shit, there's like, generally all the things before that, you couldn't watch those things. Like, you're watching Game of Thrones. My kids can't watch that stuff. But then when you become this superhero and you're like Aquaman, and my original passion my whole life was like wildlife biology and marine biology. Now I get to actually do these things, and I can actually save and help and use this platform to everything from making indigenous movies, fighting for the sacred mountain in Mauna Kea, like going to Hawaii, and like just using my platform for good. And that's where the Redrum Boys, that was like almost 2015. I think they were up there, or where we met up in on the Big Island. And really all of it kind of stemmed from Auntie Pua, who's kind of like the godmother of Redrum. And so they were just a beautiful club. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And that we can have this for community, that we're one with everybody, that we're accepted everywhere, and that we're doing good work for our community. And I'm like, this is an amazing experience for me, because then I can be able to help even more. And so when it all happened, like when I was kind of going through everything, it was like, doing my work with them up in Canada. And I met beautifully, I was with Six Nations, and I was with Treaty 20 and Smokey and Brian, and like just hanging out with the boys up there. And it's like, after about 6 months, and then it was really just, being accepted in, and then finally being a part of the club. And the bummer of it is just I've been in places where we're not at. So I don't really get a ride with anyone as much as I want to, or being able to go to the show. So I'm really excited because my next job, I actually get to go back to Hawaii, and it's even there. Like we're just kicking up having a spot right there. So, it's exciting because it's slowly growing everywhere. We're cool with everyone, and for men and for people who have had everything taken away from them, their language, their arts, and having this community and the brotherhood and all these stories that we can tell and raise awareness. It's just, it's a beautiful thing to belong to, man. To honor.
Auntie Pua was really like the inspiration for me and Jay to connect. And by the way, I spoke to Auntie yesterday. I got the call. She was like, Cliff, I haven't heard from you. And she goes, and then I told her I'm going to be with you today. And she says, I haven't heard from Jason either. So
I know. Well, I'm going to see her real soon. The thing is, like, the cool thing is, man, we're going back. I'm making a series that I wrote when I was doing Dune. It's taken me 15 years to do, but like, we're going to be doing like Kamehameha times, 9 episodes. Like it's, Chief of War just got launched. I'm going to leave here. That's why I got to get ready. But like, I'm going home, like getting everyone activated. We've never had we're supposed to be America. No one knows anything about our stories. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we're illegally occupied by, there's tons of we can get into, but just the truth of like the stories that happen in Hawaii and our monarchy and I get to go tell these stories now, and it's an honor, man. I'm going to be going home soon, and I can't wait because I've been on the road for so long, and finally get to go home to Hawaii and actually play and speak Hawaiian and learn the language and learn the arts and tell the stories. And so it's going to be amazing, man. I'm pretty pumped about it.
That's awesome. So how'd you get connected with Harley Davidson?
Well, I did Road to Paloma was my first movie I directed. And after Road to Paloma, I was like, I only want to work for the brands that I love. And so in between like doing acting or writing my next script, which is basically what we're doing now, the Hawaiian show is like, how do I hone my craft and do my storytelling? And so growing up in Iowa, I was just like, I went to everything that I love. I wore my Carhartts my whole life. I made a commercials for them. And then I wrote this story called Campus of My Life. And it took them like 4 years to like let me make that piece, but I directed commercials for them and proved my way through. And then I went to Harley Davidson, and for many years, it's been probably 12 years I've been knocking on their door because it's what I love the most. Aside from climbing, I mean, riding is everything to me. It's like, yeah, it's fuck, man. It's my soul. Like whether it's old bikes, new bikes, riding with a big crew, riding by myself, sleeping in the dirt, like just camping, being out there on my bike. Like I love everything about it, man. And I wanted to go there. And the thing is that I wanted to connect. I think there's just generations of the next generation doesn't know what it was like the board track racing, what it was like in the 1913 and what these rock stars were. And so I'm trying to make a movie even about that, the board track racers, and those guys are the original rock stars. I mean, you fall going 100 miles an hour on a gasoline bike that's basically bicycles now are made better, and you get just impaled by a splinter on those wooden tracks. Like they were just fucking rock stars, dude. Yeah. And that was like the first extreme sport. So I don't know. I really love all these old bikes and bike culture. And there's just so many. You can just go from generation to generation, see so many different types of bike culture. And I just appreciate all of them, man. There's just so many different art forms within our bike community.
What do you think about the future of Harley? Because a lot of the young generation now, they're not getting Harleys, they're getting street bikes. We were talking about that the other day. Like it's more like the older crowd that we love Harleys. What do you think about that? What do you think about the future?
I don't know. I mean, some of the bikes you're coming out with right now are pretty fucking amazing, Mike. The new lowrider is unbelievable. I think there's, I'm really proud of them for making the e-bike. And like, I don't know. I think it's been amazing because I went and shot the commercial for that. And you take the live wire and you go all around. And I put the oldest dude who's like only rides knuckleheads. I put him on it, and he comes back and his fucking face is it's just all joy. And you can put the youngest cat on it and you just do it. And you're like, it's not like it's just, it's its own thing. But I love that Harley was at the forefront of making that because things are going to move to that. They're going to move to battery. We're going to keep things the way that they are. And we're going to have old bikes. And I'm like, I don't know. I think there's something for everyone. You know what I mean? There's like riding a sport bike isn't my thing. I don't feel comfortable. I don't like riding like that. Is it a better way to ride through the canyons and stuff like that on a racetrack? Yeah. I mean, like if I was on a racetrack, it'd be fucking amazing. But I don't like riding like that. I don't even like having shocks. I don't even like having a spring in my seat. I want to feel the road. Like I love choppers. Yeah. I love 1920s, like 23, like all the like factory race stuff. I strip it down. So I'm just like on the frame, like, and it's not good for me, but I love it. And then when I have to do like cross country, I'm going to get on something more comfortable. But I think there's something for everyone. And I don't really, at this point, I don't really knock shit anymore. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I don't hate on anyone for just being in the wind. I'm like, fuck it, dude. I don't give a shit if you're on some beat ass Yamaha or if you're on a dirt bike or if you're on a crotch rocket. You're out there and you're doing your thing, and we all love the same thing, man. Rolling in packs, being in the winds, like and traveling and being in nature. So I'm like, I don't know. I think Harley's doing just fine. We're coming up on 120 years, man. I mean, come on. How many American companies we got that 120 years? So I mean, I'm down to support that. And, I'm still making stuff with them. I love that brand. And even though, it goes through, ups and downs, it's like, it's the people that stick with it. You know what I mean? Like there's things I love about it and there's things that I don't, but I don't have to buy those things. Yeah. So I love the company. I love the brand. And, I have my first like new bike that I really love that I ship everywhere, and it's a lowrider, and I decked it out to like a 143. It's so fast and crazy and loud, and the scary thing is like the fast bikes I'm gonna get killed on. I actually like it's probably more dangerous to be riding on some of these old bikes I ride on with clincher tires the way that I do, and they ain't got brakes. There's no fucking brakes on these things, and you just gotta like. It just feels like you're on a time capsule, man. It feels like you're in this 100-year-old bike. You know, you're going 60, but you're like going through a canyon on 60, but this thing's 100 years old.
Yeah.
So
did you have like an inspiration for the old school look? Like, was there like for me, it was Hulk Hogan. When I was a kid, I saw Hulk Hogan, you know, like riding Harley Davidsons and all the kids swarming them. Did you have that? Or was it just like, you know, riding a dirt bike and then just a natural love of just riding? Or did you have like a hero that rode or a movie, something like that?
I mean, obviously I was inspired by Easy Rider. That's one of those first things. I feel like I was, the board track bikes have always been really, really huge for me. So like seeing all those kind of pictures was just like, it was a whole nother world for me. That's why I really want to make a movie about that. And then, you know, who really, you know, when I was younger, it's like, you know, I saw that stuff with Billy Lane and Jesse. Like, I really liked Billy Lane. I liked when Billy Lane like shifted into, he combined a bunch of different styles for me, and I was like, wow, that's interesting. And then it's just like I fell completely madly in love with like when I can build my first choppers with like these chopper, bunch of different chopper guys like Love Cycles, my it's like my little brother Jeremiah, and then Max from 4Q, and I just kind of fell into that whole world of like, and kind of what the guys at Born Free are doing. I just like stripped down beautiful, kind of like a respect to the 60s, the late 60s kind of choppers.
Yeah.
And just the individuality, and each one's just so different. They're all artwork to me. And so that's why I love it, because you can customize everything. And so, and those motors in that time, like knuckleheads and panheads and shovels, are just like, they're just super special to me.
Hey, so when I first went out and Jay threw me on one of those old bikes, I don't know if you've ever ridden one, man, but it is. And you know, between pushing your foot forward and the clutch back, it took me like, and I've been riding my whole life. And this dude is whipping these bikes around with, you know, a suicide shift, like unbelievable. And then I finally get the knack of it. I'm riding next to him and he goes, yo, get on this one. I'm like, what the fuck? I just figured this fucking thing out. He pulls over in the middle of the highway, throws me on another bike, which is like 10 times harder to ride. But I, you know, not for nothing, but you know, those old bikes are amazing. And I was, the first time we rode, I was impressed because, I mean, Jason can whip those bikes around, man. And it's you know, between putting your foot forward, pushing it back, putting in gear, and, you know, no suspension, like nuts.
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm in England, and I've been riding on some old bikes, and they're all like, you know, companies that aren't around anymore, but everything's fucking opposite. Everything's different. Your fucking shifter is where your brake is. Everything's backwards, and you're on the other side of the road. And so it's awesome because you're just there. I'm like fully with this machine. You got in that's the best thing, is like, you just understand its heartbeat and how it's supposed to sound. And then riding in all these different countries on different types of bikes, I love it, because I mean, I almost fucked my shit up riding on a couple of these things, but it's but it's fun, man. I think when I get too complacent on the new stuff, so that's why I really enjoy the older things, because they just sound and I like to feel the road, and I don't know, man.
You're working on Fast 10. Are you riding one of the old bikes in Fast 10 or?
No, man. You know what? It was funny. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna put you on a Triumph and a Ducati or something like that." I was like, I'm like, hey, man. Like, no offense to those. Like, if you put me on one of those bikes, I'm too big. I'm 6'5", 250, 260 right now.
Yeah.
You put me on so small on me. I'm like, I need a bigger bike, and so we came up with this idea, and I was like, I called Harley, and I was like, bro, can we get like the Pan American, and we'll change it. We unlocked everything, dude. We unlocked the whole computer system. This thing is so fucking scary. I was on a runway, like a abandoned runway outside of London, and we got to like race them. And man, that thing unlocked is insane. and we just changed it, put new mufflers on it so it's fucking loud as shit, and just did our own designs to it. And now I'm like, I did that to mine, and it's amazing. So yeah, like I get to ride this new bike, and bro, I've never got to do a car. You know, it's a $300 million film. I mean, I don't even know how much it is. They're fucking huge, but like paying that much to do like car chases and motorcycle chases, and I'm riding through Italy, riding through Rome, bro, is I mean, like pinched myself, and then also scared to shitless because you're like, it's on cobblestone streets that are the oldest city in the world. You can't stop, and then no helmet, and it's just it's like every take's like, whoo, all right, I'm here. I'm like, this is really cool stuff we did, man.
So you're doing all your own stunts because you ride. So
yeah, I have no. I do. You'll see it. When you see me in it, you know it's me. But like, there's some stunts that there's just no way I could do for insurance purposes. They won't let you do that unless you're fucking Tom Cruise or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he does all that crazy shit, but I'm like, you know, the insurance to do that kind of stuff is insane.
So while you was out there in Europe, we saw the video, we covered it about, you know, you were out there with the Hells Angels, you were going through some stuff with the paparazzi. Could you tell us about that situation?
Yeah, fucking paparazzi are, I mean, obviously, hey, listen, it's Italy. They invented it, right? So it was a little too much for me. And I don't know, man. I'm like everyone that meets me, I'm a real simple guy, man. I'm just a family guy, simple. We're going to go ride together, hang out, rent out some bikes, drink some beers. And they get really nasty. And when you like agree to like, hey man, all right, I'll do this. And then you please leave me alone. And they're fucking ruthless, man. And I just
so what do they do? Do they just like follow you everywhere?
Yeah, bro. Like I almost got in a couple accidents because they just tail you and they follow you. I mean, that's how Princess Diana, like no shit, man. I felt that stuff where like they're chasing you on these mopeds going around and like they'll literally whip the camera out while you're going. And listen, anyone that's just fucking with your space, it's hard to take. It's hard to take that kind of because I just don't understand it. But regardless, I did, you know, I was fed up and I went over to asked the HA. I was like, hey man, would you come to this area if I get the fucking the paparazzi stop following me? And sure enough, you know, no one showed up. And you know, guys are fucking cool. Everyone's cool. They're cool with Redrum. And the thing is, I, you know, stupidly, you know, we're a neutral club. I'm a neutral rider. I mean, like I'm with my brothers at Redrum fully, but you know, I put on a, you know, support thing because, you know, everyone's nice. I think when you just meet people and they're bicycle enthusiasts, no matter what club you're in, it's like, oh, my fucking cousin loves you, my little niece loves you, my daughter loves you, and like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll get a picture with you. And everyone's just super stoked, you know. I mean, like you're in their hometown, like, oh, fucking Aquaman's riding with us right now. I'm like, yeah, guys, let's fucking hang. And so, you know, as much as you want to support, we support everyone. You know, we're cool with everyone, and you know, it's just my dumb ass, you know, can't be wearing shirts and doing that. But at the same time, you're like, yeah, man, I dig everyone. And it's beautiful to be able to go from place to place and connect with homies. And like, I shoot a movie in Pittsburgh, you meet everyone. You're like, fuck, this is awesome. And you go to a show here and you just want to be like, you know.
Yeah, I understand that.
I think I just got pushed to the limit. And I'm like, well, I know one thing that paparazzi ain't gonna fuck with. And, and it, while doing that, you kind of just, just upset and go like, hey man, listen, I'm neutral. I'm with Redrum. I support everyone and we're cool with everybody. So, but you know, sometimes you temporarily lose that shit because of just the situation I'm in, man. And it even gets worse when your kiddies are with you. Like when my babies show up, you know, you ask people not to do stuff and then they just do it anyways, man. It's real hard not wanting to be a dad and just go like, hey man, this doesn't feel right. So, but with that, you know.
And then you're in a spot that if you do something, now they're trying to sue you, and you know when they initiated the whole thing.
I mean, I'm sure that's gonna happen soon enough. Like I'm trying to get used to it. You know, like that's the truth of it. Like all my buddies and motorcycle friends, like they know, come to the house, hang, barbecue. We're cool with everybody, and I take pictures of families. But then like there's a certain point where people just like stalk you and do certain things, and you just like you lose your shit. But it's just human to do that, you know, like any dad do that for the kids, you know, anyone, doesn't matter who you're with. So but yeah, man, I just gotta you know, I made a mistake wearing sports things where it's just, you know, I don't want my brothers in Redrum, like, for them to know that I'm like, nah, bro, I'm with you guys. That's my crew. So yeah.
So what was it like riding out there in Rome? That's like different from like, you know, what you used to.
Well, here's the best part. What it's like riding with Rome when it's locked down. So they're locked down streets, go as fast as you fucking want, zooming past cops. Bro, I'm on the Spanish Steps, going past the Vatican, flying cameras, like all these, like they have like these huge rigs with the like Mercedes with the like they call them Russian arms, where they're hanging off of it. And bros, I've never experienced it before, but it was so much fun. And then to have it all locked down and you can do whatever you want, man.
So were you just flying past the Pope and like the Vatican?
Bro, I'm going past the Pope. I'm like sliding out, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And like when you line up on one before you take off and sprint, you know, there's a police officer right there. You're like, "Hi, officer." And you're just like, all right, they're like 3, 2, 1, action. You're just like, wah! Just fucking take off flying, bro.
That's dope.
That was a pinch me moment to be in Rome.
So I heard you had a new line coming out with Harley. What's that about?
Yeah, man. We, you know, I did a line with them last year. It was awesome. We got to make like Aloha shirts there's like Aloha print. We got to make one for my grandmother. It was like the 56 panhead. This year we're doing knucklehead ones. And it's like, it's for summer, you know, like all the things I kind of like. So you know, some Harley guys don't like it, but it's like lighter colors and stuff. And, but it's cool because we're doing like red leather jackets. And it's got like, Aloha print in them, and just some of the clothes that I like wearing, and it's fun, man. I'm just it's fun to design some stuff, and I love the brand, and man, it's just like I said, it's coming up on 120 years, and it's just like pinch myself going like, I can't believe I get to make some with Harley, and people dig it. Fucking cool, man. And if not, that's cool too.
So when can we catch that? Where can we get that at? Like,
I think it's coming out in a month or two, man. I just got the pictures right now, and they just sent me the jacket right now, which is awesome. And I'll get you one, man. I'll get you one. You an XL?
Yeah.
You an XL?
Yeah, XL, yeah. I mean, I'm starting to get a little. I've been in the gym, so I'm 2XL maybe, but
Okay. I think it'll be XL. Harley runs big, so yeah, we'll get you one. And yeah, dude, it's just fun. I'm excited to do some new stuff with them too. There's a lot of cool ideas we got coming up to kind of like honor the legacy and just really all the cool things that they made, like that Harley made back in the 20s and 30s and 40s. So we're going to try to bring back some really neat designs that are collectible, and then hopefully, just bring those things back because they're wonderful. They're it's like stylish, iconic jackets that everyone copied.
Yeah.
Harley was the one making it.
So what can we expect in the future from Jason Momoa? What's going on? How? Because you've done so much in your life, so it's like, where do we take it now? Because it seems like it don't stop for you.
Well, we're gonna be doing, we got some cool, a lot of great things coming out. Like I said, Fast is coming out. Aquaman 2 will be coming out.
Oh,
C3, C3 will be coming out soon. This really, my first comedy is called Slumberland. It's coming out on Netflix. It's gonna be amazing. It's for the whole family. Yeah, that's fun. That's like it's a very fun, definitely first comedy. And then I have this awesome TV show. We got 2. One's called Climb, which is great. That's the thing that I love. And the other thing is called On the Roam. And I've been shooting that for, it's the better part of 3 years now, but it's all about handcrafted artisans and, pretty much it's just American made, whether it's, we made all the knives for sea. Like most of my buddies were down in Texas, so we'd sit in their forge and make knives. Another buddy's out in Hawaii, and then we use those in the show. And then we'll make guitars. We made Slash's guitars. We made ZZ Top's guitar. I'm trying to make one for Lee. Yeah, we brought back to life like one of the coolest things I can tell you is like we took in front of the Harley Museum. There is the hill climber, so it's called a DAH, and they probably made like 20 of them. But there's maybe like 8 or 10 in existence left. And they were the factory hill climbers. Well, I got my hands on one from a very dear friend. Jeff Decker sold me his. and I took it completely apart, scanned it. Then we had to refabricate everything, but we made them. We made 3 of them, and then we race them. And these fucking things haven't been raced in their life. Like, everything's going to be in a museum. So you get to see us do it, take this artifact, rebuild it, and then race them. And I got to do it with all my buddies. And it's been amazing. We're just trying to make fun things and just get to see the handcrafted quality and craftsmanship. And so I made a show about that. So I'm pretty excited about that, because that's just everything that I love. Yeah. And then the next thing, man, I'm going to Hawaii to do this piece that we were talking about. So that's like this is my Braveheart to Hawaii. This is my everything. I got to direct 2 episodes, and it's probably one of Apple's biggest shows ever. They're the same people that did C with me, the same producers. So we're going to do the Hawaiian one, and it's like a dream come true, bringing that back home, man.
Yeah. I really want to thank you for, taking the time out to, jump on my show. I want to thank you, Cliff, for, bringing us together. Like, it's amazing, you doing this for me. It means a lot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you very much. I'm excited.
I want to send you some Demons Road gear too, if we could get some type of, so we could ship some hats and some clothes out to you.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be home in a month, so maybe we'll keep it there. Otherwise, you can send it. Otherwise, you send it here. So we'll figure it out.
Whenever,
absolutely.
Thank you so much,
oh,
man.
shit, bro. You got your ring on, huh?
Yeah, bro. I got the original. I made this. Check this out. I made So check this out. So my buddy from Book of Alchemy. This is the kind of thing that I love. Like, that's on the Rome. It's my buddy made this awesome. He made this basically for Pride of Gypsies. So Chief of the Sixes. So this is something for me and my boys that I made for this company I have. And then I was like, when I joined Redrum, I was like, I'm gonna make this for all the boys, and then make it available, like, to send it to them. So I made this for Cliff and all the and it says Kanaka Maole in there. So it's got my Hawaiian. Awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And then if you look closely, we have the four races of man in our what the fuck is my camera? There it is.
Yeah, you're a little bit away from it.
Right,
yeah, you got.
You see,
I can see it now.
Stones, the black, the red, the yellow, and the white. They're in there. I mean, and the detail is amazing, man. You see in the inside, like, just.
Oh, that's fire! The Nomad in the inside. I can see it.
Yeah, and that's like our original. That's our, except for the holes, but that was the original Redrum crew. That was the 3 skulls from the original when we first when we were at Outlaw Club a long time ago. But that's the 3 skulls.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. I mean, being able to have Kanaka Maole on mine and First Nations, it gives me so much pride. So, thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having us on, bro.
So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. I have so much respect for Jason for sitting down with me, taking time out of shooting Fast and the Furious 10. He's in London right now, doing stunts on his motorcycle, living his best life, and he sat down and really wanted to talk to the community, to the culture, show this man love and respect. He showed that he doesn't feel he's too big, that he's part of the community. Embrace him. Much love to everybody out there. If you want to know more about Jason's club and the history of the Redrum MC, I'm going to link a video above. It's an interview with Cliff, the national president of the Redrum MC. And thank you for tuning in to Demons Road TV, the holy grail of MC culture. Like, subscribe, and comment. And oh yeah, we ghosting, baby.